Assalamualaikum and greetings to Miss Gina. Today, we will present a story about Germany's involvement in the Russian and Ukrainian war. First of all, I will introduce myself. I am Nur Ashikin binti Azmi. My number matric is 286132 and my partner is Nur Natasha binti Muhammad Fairoz. Her number matric is 286930. Now, I will start first by explaining this topic in more detail. The background of Germany. Germany, formerly in the Federal Republic of Germany, is a country in Central Europe. It is the second most populous country in Europe after Russia and the most populous member state of the European Union. The nation's capital and largest city is Berlin. Germany has a parliamentary system of government in which the Chancellor is the country's leading political figure and de facto chief executive. Frank-Walter Steinmeier is the current incumbent president after being appointed on 12 February 2017. Meanwhile, the German Chancellor is currently held by Olaf Scholz as the leader of the Christian Democratic Union party, who was appointed in December 2021. Now, I will explain about the German's foreign policy. Germany's foreign policy is centered on international peace and security. Germany's peace and safety approach is multilaterally orientated into the worldwide establishments and systems like EU, NATO, United Nations, and the G7. Furthermore, the USA works to decorate democracy, the guidelines of rule of law, and human rights across the world. It additionally targets to make sure that globalization is truthful and sustainable. That is why Germany considers multilateralism to be the maximum essential idea for a worldwide order and to maintain to stick with it. Aside from it, extra pillars guide German foreign policy, its external economic policy and cultural relations, as well as education policy. Now, let's move to the German's membership in international organizations. Germany has diplomatic relations with 195 countries and 227 missions worldwide, including 153 embassies. In 12 international organizations, Germany is represented by permanent representatives. Germany is also a member of the Council of Europe, the European Union, the European Space Agency, the Group of Four, the Group of Eight, the International Monetary Fund, NATO, United Nations, and also the World Trade Organization. Germany's role in the United Nations. Germany contributes roughly 6% of the United Nations peacekeeping budget around year 2019 and is a contributor to a number of other United Nations programs and funds for sustainability, humanitarian aid, and also development. Germany is the United Nations' largest net contributor and has several development agencies operating in Africa and in the Middle East. The Federal Republic of Germany's development policy is distinct from German foreign policy. NATO. What Germany do under NATO? Under the doctrine established by 2003 Defense Policy Guidelines, Germany continues to prioritize transatlantic cooperation with the United States through the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Germany, on the other hand, is concentrating more on policy coordination with the European Union through the Common Foreign and Security Policy. Now, let's move to the overview of Russian-Ukraine crisis. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has taken delivery of advanced weapon system from NATO and activated Ukraine's army reserve to fend off the Russian invasion. Russian forces employed ground maneuvers after carrying out precise missiles and airstrips. Ukraine has both to fight back, and Kyiv has seen signs of people offering to fight after civilians were allowed to carry weapons. This kind of resistance will make it more challenging to capture Kyiv, but it will be difficult to overcome Russia's advantage in terms of its arsenal, military strategy, and also the experience. That's all from me. Thank you. Now I will pass to Tasha.
Okay, next, let's move to the country relationship with Russia and Ukraine. Germany-Ukraine relations are Germany and Ukraine international relations. Diplomatic ties between Ukraine and Germany were established in 1918 as between the Ukrainian People's Republic and the German Empire, but were quickly terminated owing to the Red Army's conquest of Ukraine. Meanwhile, relations between Russia and Germany are at an all-time low as a result of Russia's endeavor to undermine German democracy, annexation of Crimea, and involvement in eastern Ukraine, and domestic human rights violations, among other concerns. Despite this deterioration in relations, Germany and Russia have maintained close commercial links, particularly in the energy sector, where Germany is a major importer of Russian gas and the terminus of the contentious Nord Stream 2 project. Okay, next let's jump to the Germans' reaction to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Olaf Scholz, the German Chancellor, described the Russian invasion of Ukraine as a brutal aggression. He also emphasizing that this is imperialism in a recent DW interview. And we won't ever consent to that. It was now necessary to demonstrate on a global scale that there must never again be a successful attempt to shift boundaries by force, he declared. According to the German government, Ukraine needs to continue receiving military and financial support, while Russia needs to have its gas and oil supplies cut off as soon as feasible. Berlin has emphasized that Germany will not, however, act alone and run the danger of joining the conflict directly. Scholz has a reputation for being uneasy about Ukraine, both domestically and internationally. There have been calls for more forceful action in his own administration about the delivery of heavy weaponry, particularly from Economy Minister Robert Habeck and Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock. Okay, next, I will explain about the suggestion of Germany regarding this invasion. First thing first, in terms of suggestion, Olaf Scholz is criticized by political rivals. In terms of this, Florian Hahn, a member of the military committee and a member of the Bundestag from the Christian Democratic Party, CDU, stated in an interview with the German news publication Cicero that the Chancellor wants to postpone arms supplies. However, Scholz has been forthright about his opinion recently, declaring Russia cannot be allowed to win this war. Ukraine must remain. This is due to a variety of reasons, including a shortage of ammunition for the promised Leopard anti-aircraft tanks that have been long since retired in Germany. German heavy weapon deployments to Ukraine have been put off by the end of August 15. Okay, next I will talk about little space for negotiating. During Olaf's interview, he also played to Putin and Russia's self-interest by saying the conflict would never end nicely for his nation. The sanctions will only cause the Russian economy to be put back decades. He also asserted that Putin ought to terminate the conflict just for that reason. However, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is now requesting that Russia cede all Ukrainian territory that it has illegally occupied, including the 2014 annexed Crimea. Russia has categorically rejected this request. The likelihood of peace talks happening now seems to be negligible.